After Jesus was crucified, one man became the most wanted person in Judea. Not a rebel, not a soldier, not a political threat. A man who had already died once. His name was Lazarus of Bethany. And in this video, I will tell you why the chief priests and Pharisees wanted him dead, and why he fled all the way to Kition. If this is your first time here, consider subscribing for more biblical investigations.
Your support means a lot to me.
Most people think Lazarus' story ends when Jesus raised him from the dead, but that miracle made him the most dangerous man in Jerusalem. Because Lazarus wasn't just alive, he was evidence that Jesus Christ had power no one could explain away. And evidence must be silenced. After the miracle, Lazarus is seen again, sitting at a dinner table, eating, laughing, living. Mary anoints Jesus. Martha of Bethany serves. Lazarus sits beside him. Not a ghost, not a rumor, a man fully alive. And that terrified the religious leaders. The chief priests said, if we let him live,
it doesn't align.
Everyone will believe in Jesus. Lazarus was living proof that Jesus had authority over death. And proof is dangerous to systems built on control. So they made plans to kill Lazarus too. Imagine surviving death only to become a target. But before the plot, there was the delay. When Jesus heard Lazarus was sick, he didn't rush. He waited 2 more days. And when he finally arrived, Martha said, Lord, if you had been here,
would not have died.
My brother would not have died. Mary said the same words. They believed in Jesus, but only to a point. Jesus didn't delay because he didn't care. He delayed because he was about to reveal a side of himself they had never seen. Not Jesus the healer, not Jesus the teacher,
that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven.
but Jesus, the resurrection.
He is alive.
And to reveal resurrection, something has to die. By the time Jesus arrived, Lazarus had been dead 4 days. In that culture, the soul was believed to linger for 3 days. After day 3, all hope was gone. Day 4 meant final, irreversible, impossible. Jesus waited until impossible. Jesus didn't show up early to heal. He showed up late to resurrect. He waited until every human option was gone. So, when he moved, no one could deny the power.
Come forth.
No one could say Lazarus wasn't really dead. No one could silence the miracle.
He is alive.
And then Jesus wept. Not because he was powerless, not because he was late. He wept because they were hurting. He wept because death is painful, because loss is real. He wept because they thought it was over, even though the miracle was seconds away. Some of you are living in a day 4 moment. Something in your life feels dead. A dream, a relationship, a purpose. And you're asking, God, where were you? But what if the delay is not punishment? It's preparation. If Jesus came early, Lazarus would have been healed. Because he came late, Lazarus was resurrected. Early brings relief. Late brings revelation. Your delay might be the setup for something undeniable. Most people stop the story when Lazarus walks out of the tomb, but that miracle made him the most hunted man in Judea. The chief priests wanted him dead. The Pharisees wanted him silenced. And so, Lazarus fled. Where he went is one of the most fascinating parts of his story. According to early Christian tradition, Lazarus escaped Judea and sailed across the sea. He traveled to the island of Cyprus, far from Jerusalem, far from danger, far from those who wanted him dead. He found refuge in a city called Kition, modern-day Larnaca, Cyprus. Tradition says Lazarus became the first bishop of Kition, a man who once lay in a tomb, now leading a church. A man who died once, now preaching life. A man who was hunted, now shepherding believers. His life became a testimony that could not be silenced. Tradition says Lazarus lived about 30 more years. And then he died again. Not in fear, not in hiding, but as a man who had already seen the power of God firsthand. There is even a tomb in Cyprus claimed to be his second burial place. The man who died twice and lived to tell the story. And this leads us to the teachings of the church, how it transcended from AD 33 to this date. In our next teaching, we will find out. If God can resurrect a man, protect him from death plots, give him a new land, a new purpose, a new calling, what makes you think your story is over? I speak this over your life. Your delay is not denial. Your waiting is not wasted. God is not late. He is precise. He is preparing something that will silence doubt and resurrect what you thought was finished. Because when he speaks, even dead things respond. Your Lazarus will rise. Your purpose will rise. Your strength will rise. And what God is about to do in your life will be impossible to deny.